Marcus got the email on a Tuesday. The raise he had been chasing for 2 years. Approved. $8,000 more, starting next month. He read it twice in the parking garage. He called his mom. He felt rich for about 4 days. Then the first bigger deposit landed, and within a week the same tightness was back. The quiet math at the grocery store. That low hum of not enough, sitting exactly where it has always sat. The raise didn't fix it. The last raise didn't fix it either. And here's the strange part. Marcus is not broke. By every number on paper, Marcus is fine. Nobody told his body that. Feeling broke and being broke are two different systems. One reads your bank account. The other was calibrated years before you had a bank account. And if you needed proof of how little the two have to do with each other, survey after survey finds roughly half of six-figure earners saying they live paycheck to paycheck. So here's where we're going tonight. 3 signs the problem was never your balance, then where the feeling actually comes from, then how you reset it, including the one part that sounds completely backwards. The thing making you feel broke was never broken. Picture an old car. The tank is full, you just filled it, but the gauge is stuck, the needle trembling just above E. Anyone driving by that needle would ration every mile. They'd panic at every hill, not because of the tank, because of the needle. That's the feeling of broke. It isn't a reading of your money, it's a reading of a needle that got stuck a long time ago. And most people spend their whole lives pouring fuel at a gauge problem. One sign the gauge is stuck looks like this. Money arrives and the feeling doesn't update. The raise, the bonus, the tax refund, a burst of relief, sometimes a purchase, and then the needle settles right back where it was. The tax refund is the cleanest version of this. $3,000 appears, real money yours, and instead of relief, there's a strange urgency to route it somewhere fast, as if letting it sit in view were dangerous. You've run this experiment more than once. You have the data. More money buys about a week of okay. There's a second sign, and it lives in your body. The math says fine, the body says no. The spreadsheet says you're okay this month, and some part of you does not believe the spreadsheet. So you stand at the register, buying groceries you can absolutely afford, with a small knot in your stomach, vaguely certain you're getting away with something. When the card reader thinks for an extra second, your heart joins in. That's not your balance talking. Your balance is fine. That's the needle. And then there's the emergency that's always almost here. You live braced. Every purchase gets measured against a disaster that hasn't happened yet. The transmission, the layoff, the roof. Some version of what if has a permanent seat at your table, and it eats first. It's why the vacation stays maybe next year for the 9th consecutive year. It's why once things settle down is doing so much work in your vocabulary. Things have been about to settle down for a decade. Preparing for real risk is wisdom, but this isn't preparing, because preparing finishes. This never finishes. The needle says empty, and a body that believes it's running on empty treats everything as a threat. And before we go further, tally what the needle actually costs, not in comfort, in exits. Marcus has turned down 2 trips with people he loves, both of which the tank could cover. He orders by reading the menu right to left, prices first. He has never once negotiated his salary because people who feel broke ask for less, and then they get it. A stuck gauge doesn't just ruin the drive. It decides quietly, year after year, where the car never goes. Now watch what the needle does to 2 people with the same paycheck. Marcus and Nadia work at the same company, same job band. This spring they got the same $8,000 raise. Nadia read the number, opened the one page where she tracks her month, watched the gap between what comes in and what goes out get wider, and felt it. Actually felt it. A little more room to breathe. Then she went back to her day. Marcus felt the burst. Then his needle reasserted itself. The extra money never became room to breathe. It dissolved into obligations he absorbed without deciding to, into a dozen small yeses he doesn't remember saying. Ask them both in December how the raise felt. Nadia says, it helped. Marcus says, and he's honest when he says it, I don't know where it went. He even checked his statements twice that week, hunting for the leak. There wasn't one. The leak was never in the statements. Same money, same math, 2 different needles. And here's the part nobody says out loud. Entire industries know your needle is stuck. Picture the man in the sharp suit with the too wide smile. He's paid to notice things. And what he's noticed is that people who feel broke buy differently. They buy relief. They buy, "You deserve this." Watch the arithmetic he offers. The $150 headphones become 4 easy payments of $37.50. Your tank knows those are the same number. Your needle doesn't. 4 small numbers slide past a broke-feeling brain the way one honest number never could. The minimum payment works the same trick. $25 is a number a stuck needle can say yes to forever. Buy now, pay later wasn't built for your wallet. It was built for the gap between your gauge and your tank. And when the purchase deepens the exact feeling it was soothing, that isn't a malfunction. That's the product. He shakes your hand either way. So where does a stuck needle come from? Why would a gauge read empty in a full car? The oldest reason, the gauge was calibrated in someone else's car. Marcus was 7 the year he learned what an envelope could do to a kitchen. His father sorted the mail at the counter, and there was one kind, window envelope, red stamp across the front, that changed the air in the room before anyone said a word. Nobody explained it. Nobody had to. A kid can't fix the family finances, so a kid's nervous system does the only thing it can. It learns to read empty early, and it learns to treat empty as normal. A psychologist named Brad Klontz calls these inherited beliefs money scripts. And the blunt version of his research is that most of them are set in childhood, and they do not expire when you grow up and out-earn your parents. Nadia was 8 at a different kitchen table. Her mother paid the bills out loud once a month. There's the electricity, there's the rent. That's what's left. Some months, the what's left was small, and her mother said so, in the same voice she used for the weather. Money in that house was sometimes hard, but it was arithmetic. It was never thunder. 2 kids, 2 kitchen tables, 2 needles, set for life unless somebody resets them. There's a second route, and you've already paid for it today. It's the quiet math. Standing in the cereal aisle, running numbers you've run 100 times, redeciding a purchase you already decided this morning. That loop is not free. Researchers who study scarcity have measured what it costs, and the finding that matters here is simple. The mind tunnels toward whatever it believes is short and holds there, taxing everything else you're trying to think about. The tunnel follows the belief, not the balance. A mind convinced it's running on empty pays the scarcity tax in a full car. And the newest route, the needle's 0-point drifts. What felt like plenty at 25 is simply your floor at 35. The gauge doesn't measure fuel. It measures distance from whatever normal has quietly become. That drift deserves a whole episode of its own, and it will get one. For tonight, take just this from it. The needle cannot be trusted to define enough, ever. A gauge set in childhood, a mind taxed by a shortage it believes in, a 0-point that drifts. Stack those 3, and a person can be objectively fine and subjectively broke every single day of their life. And maybe your version doesn't look like Marcus's. Maybe it's the $60 sweater you've screenshotted 4 times and never bought. Maybe it's doing silent math on the dinner bill before you offer to split it. Maybe it's out-earning your parents twice over and still flinching at the thermostat. Different registers, same needle. If any of that is you, hear this part clearly. None of it is stupid, and none of it is a character flaw. The needle was set honestly by a younger you in a harder car. And if some part of you is waiting to simply outgrow it, meet D. 64. Paid off house, a pension, 4 decades of careful behind him. His accountant has shown him, with charts, that the money will outlast him comfortably. D still waters down the dish soap, still drives across town for cheaper gas. Last spring, his daughter had to book his flight to his own grandson's graduation because D kept saying, "We'll see," and "we'll see" is what a stuck needle sounds like out loud. Understand what he'd tell you if he could say it plainly. The needle doesn't age out. It compounds. Every year you obey it is a year it gets harder to hear the tank at all. And there's one more table worth looking at. Yours. If there are kids in your house, they're doing right now exactly what you did at 7. Reading the air. They don't see your balance. They can't. What they see is your face at the register. What they hear is the sigh over the mail, the edge in the kitchen on the 1st of the month. Their gauges are being calibrated at your table this year out of whatever you do next. And that cuts both ways, because calm, spoken out loud money is a gauge being set true. We have enough for this. We're choosing not to. the same sentence Nadia's mother used. That isn't pressure, that's the good news. A script ends at whichever table someone finally decides to read it out loud. So how do you fix a gauge? Not by yelling at the needle, and not by pouring more fuel. One thing that will not work is white-knuckling it, calling the feeling irrational, setting your jaw, and buying the thing anyway with your heart pounding. Override the needle without giving it evidence, and it doesn't decide it was wrong. It just gets louder next time. Suppressed needles scream, recalibrated needles settle, gauges recalibrate on evidence. So here are the 4 moves that hand it some. And the last one is going to sound like the opposite of financial advice. Start here. Read the tank, not the gauge. Pick one place where your real numbers live. One page, one app, one piece of paper. What comes in, what goes out, what's left. Then give it a schedule you chose. Once a week, coffee in hand, like an adult reading a dashboard. That page is exactly what Nadia was looking at when her raise landed as relief instead of vanishing. And here's what happened the first time Marcus tried it. He braced for the page to hurt. It didn't. It was just information. In, out, what's left. The number wasn't scary. The not looking had been doing all the screaming. The feeling gets a vote. The tank gets the verdict. Then, name the script when it fires. Here's the whole move. Start to finish. Cart, register, card out, not. You feel it start its speech. You say silently is fine. That's the empty gauge script. You let the tank answer, check Tuesday, approved, and you buy the groceries. That's it. It will feel like nothing the first 10 times. Somewhere around the 11th, the speech gets shorter. A script you can see is a script you can question. A script you can't see just looks like the truth. After that, give the feeling proof it can see. Your body doesn't read spreadsheets, it reads proof. So build one visible buffer, a single account with a real name on it. Call it proof. Call it the tank. Let it sit where you see it every time you open your banking app, growing where the needle can watch. Not a magic number, not somebody's threshold, an amount that's honestly yours to build. The size matters less than the visibility, because watching a number with your own name on it climb does something that reassurance never did. And then the move that sounds backwards. Spend, on purpose, without penance. Once a month, one planned line that exists purely because you can afford it. Picked in advance, enjoyed in full. No guilt laps afterward. No skipping lunch the next day to atone. No promising the needle you'll be good. For Nadia, it's flowers on the first Friday of the month. $11, non-negotiable. And she'd tell you it's the cheapest thing on this list and the one that works the deepest. Because it isn't a treat, it's a calibration exercise. Every time planned money leaves and nothing bad happens, the needle gets one more data point that fuel exists. You're not indulging, you're teaching. And now the reframe. The part I said would sound backwards. That gauge was never broken. It was doing its job for an earlier tank. Somewhere back there, empty was real. The envelope with the red stamp was real. The needle got set by a kid doing their best with the dashboard they had. And that kid's carefulness is part of how you got here. The vigilance, the discipline, the never taking it for granted. The needle kept you safe in a car you're not driving anymore. You don't have to rip it out of the dashboard. You just have to stop letting it drive. Marcus, by the way, started with exactly one of the 4 moves. The weekly tank reading. Tuesdays, coffee going cold next to the laptop. He still feels the knot at the register. Needles don't unstick in a month, but now he knows what it is. And a few weeks ago, in that same grocery store, needle screaming, he stood there for a second, and for the first time in his adult life, he didn't obey it. Remember the night the raise came through, when Marcus called his mom? She said something he didn't really hear at the time. Maybe now you can relax a little. He laughed. Not because it was funny, because relaxing wasn't on the menu. At any income. If someone you love keeps earning more and enjoying it less, now you know what you're watching. And if that someone is you, the needle isn't the end of your story. It's just the first script you get to read. So the next time the tightness arrives, raise or no raise, read it the way you'd read a line from an old script. Because that's exactly what it is. A line written early by someone protecting you in a story that has since changed. The one line to remember tonight: feeling broke is a reading, not a fact. Check the tank. And if you've spent years quietly wondering why the money never feels like the math, that wondering is the whole reason money scripts exist. There's a script running under every money habit: the spending, the hoarding, the guilt that follows both. Every week we find one and read it out loud with the research to back it. If tonight put words on something you've been feeling for years, subscribe, because the next script we read might be the one that's been running you. Your money runs on a script. Now you can read it.